All right, Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory. It goes to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, Rakat Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bracket thumb to the whole full X. Shalom, shalom. Today's video is going to be entitled Stereotypes of the Negro. And, through the spirit, I found this article. As you see, widespread and pervasive stereotypes of African Americans, so-called tribe of Judah, but it also includes, you Benjamites, you Levites as well, because, you also are included in the Southern Kingdom. But these stereotypes were a construct, from Atlantic slavery that still hang around today. And, we're going to go through this article, and show you the similarities of this, because the scriptures say we shall be a proverb and a byword, amongst all nations, man. Let me get that. Let's see. I'm just doing everything from my tablet, so Lord willing, I can be quick, edifying, to the point. Byword. God. Deuteronomy 28 verse 37, and now shall become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all the nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee, man. You see, and that's going into the stereotypes. That's going in being called the word nigger. You know what I'm saying? Being called lazy. Being so-called promiscuous. Whatever it is, man. Let's go down. It's a decades old ephemera and current day incarnations of African American stereotypes. I'm up here at the top. African American stereotypes, including Mammy, Mandingo, Sapphire, Uncle Tom, and Watermelon, have all been informed by the legal and social status of African Americans. Southern Kingdom, you see. Many of the stereotypes created during the height of the transatlantic slavery and were used to help commodify black bodies and justify the business of slavery. Right? They would make you seem less as a human to justify treating you as less as a human. Just for instance, enslaved person forced under violence to work from sunrise to sunset could hardly be described as lazy. Yet laziness, as well as characteristics of submissiveness, backwardness, lewdness, treachery, and dishonesty, historically became stereotypes assigned to African Americans. And you see, the thing is, Jake, you've been used to being treated like shit your whole life, that you eventually grow into that. You eventually put on the stereotypes that was put upon you, man. This is why we need the truth to break out of these chains, to break out of these, characteristics. You see? Let's scroll down, because it's going to go through the list, right? Uncle Tom, which, the Apostle Ramla broke out, is really going into Sambo. Uncle Tom was really the good guy, in this story. But Sambo is the one that was, treacherous to his own people. But say Uncle Tom, written by Harriet Beecher Stowe in 1852, featured the title character as a large, broad-chested, powerfully made man whose truly African features were characterized by an expression of grave and steady good sense, united with much kindliness and benevolence. You see, that's Uncle Tom. He forfeited his own chance at escaping bondage and loses his life to ensure the freedom of other slaves. The stereotype of Uncle Tom is innately submissive, obedient, and in constant desire of white approval. And you see this example in your job sites. You have members of the Southern Kingdom, even mostly members of the Northern Kingdom, man, that love to say, "You got it, boss." That love to say, "Yes, boss. This boss, that boss." Or they say, "We sick, boss." that Stephen from Django. That's you niggas though. So the stereotype of Uncle Tom is innately submissive, obedient, and in constant desire of white approval. The term became popular during the Great Migration when many southern-born blacks moved to northern cities like New York, Chicago, Detroit. With them, they brought codes of conduct expected in hostile Jim Crow environments. You see, because if Jake even looked at an Edomite wrong, if Jake even looked at an Edomite woman, they would be put to death or, beat up harshly. So that submissiveness came from the hostility. It came from the grave danger of being punished for being other than submissive. See what I'm saying? So they brought these traits to New York, Chicago, Detroit, St. Louis, other cities around, Gary, Indiana, other northern cities, Philadelphia, places in Ohio, places in Indiana. But that all became from, the cotton field. It says, with them, they brought codes of conduct expected in hostile Jim Crow environments. The stereotype was first publicly recorded during an address by Marcus Garvey Universal Negro Improvement Association member Reverend George Alexander McGuire in 1919. Moving forward, the Sapphire. The Sapphire character from the 1800s through the mid-1900s popularly portrayed black women as sassy, emasculating, and domineering. Unlike the mammy figure, this trope depicted African American women as aggressive, loud, and angry, in direct violation of social norms. And you see, you black women, you nigga women, have completely picked up this stereotype and ran with it, man. That's why they have all these rappers, all these female rappers, Megan Thee Stallion, Lotto. The chick I posted on my channel, Glorilla. You are living up to the Sapphire stereotype. It says this trope depicted African American women as aggressive, loud, and angry, in direct violation of social norms. Right? The social norm was you to be quiet, discreet, and helpers of your husbands, man. But now you are talking about I'm fuck nigga free, and I'm fucking on a rich nigga. This is y'all. It says the Sapphire stereotype earned its name on the CBS television show Amos and Andy in association with the character Sapphire Stevens, airing from 1951 to 1953 with an all-black cast. Sapphire Stevens was the wife of George Kingfish Stevens, a character depicted as ignorant and lazy, fueling Sapphire's rage. You see? And that's what it is now, because no matter how hard the so-called Negro man in America works, you have nigga women out there that'll never be satisfied. Nigga women out there that are always finding fault and finding guilt with the things that he does, man. Not even being supportive. But you don't realize you're playing in to a stereotype that was given to you during slavery, man. It says during the Jim Crow period, when blacks were often beaten, jailed, or killed for arguing with whites, these fictional characters would pretend chastise whites, including men. Their sassiness was supposed to indicate their acceptance as members of the white family. You see, because you got comfortable with E, man. You start talking to Esau any kind of way. Next thing you know, you start talking to your man any kind of way. So their sassiness was supposed to indicate their acceptance as members of the white family, and acceptance of that sassiness implied that slavery and segregation were not overly oppressive, right? Because he let you get away with being a fucking demon, man. See what I'm saying? So a lot of things that you see today is complete post-slave syndrome, man. Watermelon, stereotype, and ain't nothing wrong with a good piece of seeded watermelon, not that seedless shit. But it says before it came a racist stereotype in the Jim Crow era, watermelon once symbolized self-sufficiency amongst African Americans. Following emancipation, many Southern, I'm gonna just say Jakes, man. I'm tired of saying this African American word. Many Southern Jakes grew and sold watermelons, and it became a symbol of their freedom. Many Southern whites reacted to this self-sufficiency by turning the fruit into a symbol of poverty. You see? So when you have a so-called Negro man eating watermelon, they just think as you just ignorant, you just a nigger. But a lot of Jakes in the South, they were selling these watermelons to get themselves some bread, man. They were hustling. But it says watermelon came to symbolize a feast for the unclean, lazy, and childlike. To shame watermelon merchants, popular ads in let me look this word up. Ephema. It says things that exist or are used or enjoyed only for a short time. Popular ads in ephemera, including postcards, pictured Jake stealing, fighting over, and sitting in streets eating watermelon. Watermelons being eaten hand to mouth without utensils made it impossible to consume without making a mess, therefore branded a public nuisance. But you see at the top, it was a symbol for self-sufficiency, man. Now let's scroll down. The next one, Mandingo, the black buck, conjured by the minds of enslavers and auctioneers to promote strength, breeding ability, and agility of muscular young black men, the Mandingo trope was born. You see, and you see the Jake on a slave auction, man. But this is nothing new. Where do you see this most often? NFL, NBA draft, man. Before you get drafted, you got to work out for these different teams. You know, you got to do all these physicals, you know, to show that you're in a good physical shape to put a ball through the hoop or to run a ball across the yard line, man. You see, not knowing that you're playing into the stereotype. This is why NFL, NBA is big business. Why? Is because, you know, the main commodity in there is Jake, man. It's Jake bodies. You know what I'm saying? It says, read that again. Conjured by the minds of enslavers and auctioneers to promote the strength, breeding ability, and agility of muscular young black men, the mango trope was born. While under the violence of enslavement, a physically powerful black man could be subdued and brutally forced into labor. See, that was back in the day, but now Jake will live their whole life just to go into labor for the so-called white man. They would train hours and hours and hours at the gym just to be drafted, not knowing that at the end of your career you're gonna have CTE. You know, you didn't have 5 different leg injuries. You know what I'm saying? You can't remember your first name, and you're gonna be in the fucking wheelchair by you 75, man. You know, that's the story of a lot of you ball players. It says emancipation brought it with fears that these men would exact sexual revenge against white men through their daughters, as depicted in the film Birth of a Nation. And hey man, that's happening right now, man. You know, brothers be at the White Castle. But that's how the scripture go. Because once you conquer a nation, you do what they want. You do what you want with their women, man. You know, according to the law. It says the reinforcement of this stereotype of the Mandingo as animalistic and brutish. You see, especially you NFL players, man. Dudes like Aaron Donald. That nigga Aaron Donald for the Rams. Dudes like Jadeveon Clowney. You know, all the big defensive ends in the league, man. That they get that stereotype, man. See what I'm saying? Why the pretty boy white boys like Brady and Joe Burrow out there, they don't get that, man. They get called as hometown heroes. But you know, these guys, some Jake, they just straight you know, beasts, as you'll say. You know, you got Marshawn Lynch beast mode. That's it. It said the reinforcement of the stereotype of the Mandingo as animalistic and brutish gave legal authority to white moms and militias who tortured and killed black men for the safety of the public. The safety of the public. It say headlines in newspapers across the nation beginning around the turn of the century document a frenzy of arrests, attempted lynchings, and murders of black brutes accused of insulting or assaulting white women. You see, but now the tables are turned with a white women trying to get with Jake, man. They trying to hop on the train. But years ago, you were being you know, arrested, attempted lynching, and murder just for insulting one. See, heavyweight boxing champion Jack Johnson epitomized the black or the Mandingo or black brute of white imaginations in the flesh. Called a beast, a brute, and a coon in print. Johnson's relationship with white women took up as much newsprint as his fighting abilities. With his 1910 victory over James Jeffries, promoted as the Great White Hope, Johnson brought white fears to a head, the result of weeks of riotous mob violence across the nation that left thousands of African Americans left in ruin. You know, and that's pretty much it, man. You know, just wanted to go over this. Oh, it's one more. Yeah, one more. It say the mammy stereotype, developed as an offensive racial character constructed during slavery and popularized primarily through minstrel shows. Enslaved black women were highly skilled domestic works, working in the homes of white families and caretakers for their children. Right, being called the help, man. The trope painted a picture of a domestic worker who had undying loyalty to their slaveholders as caregivers and counsel. See what I'm saying? And hey, that's true. Cause my grandmother damn near 80 something. I think she like 81, 82, man. But she's been raising this white family, these white kids. You know, she'll be like basically a nanny. She's been raising these white kids damn near for 15 years, man. 15 years. And whenever they call her, she gets up at a drop of a dime, man. It said the mammy stereotype gained increased popularity after the Civil War and into the 1900s. During this time, her robust, grinning likeness was attached to mass-produced consumer goods from flour to motor oil. Considered a trusted figure in white imaginations, mammies represented contentment and served as nostalgia for whites concerned about racial equality. Right, because you got niggas in the house. You know, you got house niggas. This is what Esau wants to get back to, man. But yeah, Lord willing, this edifying. I know this kind of was a lengthy video, but you know, I still wanted to go into this because we got to be aware of, you know, how the things that happened in the past play out today, man. And a lot of it is. But with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. All praises, honor, and glory. It goes to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elders of great millstone. YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bracket thumb, full Shalom, shalom.